Can you give us an overview of timeline involved under EB-5 visa program? Specifically, it's a green card program. So, what
Yeah.
is the timeline involved for an investors if someone is planning to apply right now? How long is going to take typically to get the permanent residency or green card approved?
Sure. It's funny you asked that question because things have recently changed.
Hmm.
Before the new law, there were these lines forming. They called it retrogression, where if you were from a certain country, mainly India, China, Vietnam,
Uh-huh.
these countries, a line was forming because we were hitting the visa quota. And
Hmm.
so people could get their application approved by the government, but then they would have to wait in line to get a visa. And that wait was taking a very long time. Fortunately, with the new law, a new line has formed.
Hmm.
And there's a special line now for rural projects and TEA projects.
Hmm.
And, right now, if you're looking at a TEA project that is a high unemployment area, you're seeing about 12 to 18 months to see
Uh-huh.
somebody's application get approved. That's their initial application. At that point, they make an appointment to get their visa issued for them. And depending on their country, that can take a little longer. If they already have a visa and access to the US, they can actually do an adjustment of status in the US immediately and continue to get access,
That's
which
an
is great.
important point which you have told. So those lot of families who have been living in US, for them it's a faster process to
Much faster.
move to US green card program through EB-5.
Absolutely. They don't have the huge line everybody else does in waiting to get that visa issued. They can do that adjustment of status and file that paperwork immediately. So that's been very beneficial for investors.
And that includes those children who are studying in US and
Correct.
their families or they themselves applies for.
Correct. They can do their if they have that visa and that access already to the US, they can do that adjustment of status there. But even better for some of our investors these days is, for instance, we have a rural project right now.
Uh-huh.
In a rural project, under the new law, they set aside 20% of the visas specifically for these rural areas. It was to help drive investment into rural areas.
Uh-huh.
So not only are those visas set aside specifically for that category, but also they're doing premium processing. And we're seeing on rural projects 4 to 12 months to get that I-526 approval, that initial approval. So things are moving much, much faster than they used to. And I think that's driving a lot of interest in the program because before, when people had to sit and wait for a long, long time, again, people say, oh, I'd like to do this, but I don't want to sit on the sidelines and wait. Now people are able to move much faster. And I think that's really created a new interest in the program that hasn't existed for years.
Yes, that's very interesting. In fact, this news actually makes a difference to all those applicants who have been planning for long, but they could not go ahead because of the timeline it was taking. So now it's more faster. That's a good news.